Same cognitive patterns, thousands of scans, one undeniable truth about your dog. This is the reality of canine intelligence that science is finally beginning to verify and document for the very first time in human history. Welcome to WildLeadTube, where we provide animal intelligence verified. Science proves they are smarter than you think, and today we are diving into a discovery that will fundamentally change how you look at your pet forever. For decades, we were told that dogs were simply reacting to our tone of voice or looking for food rewards. But new data suggests we have been drastically underestimating the creature sleeping at the foot of your bed. There is a specific neural pattern here that scientists are finally beginning to decode. By the end of this documentary, you will see exactly why your dog's brain is more human than we ever dared to imagine. And I have the receipts to prove it. This isn't theory, this is neuroscience. What we found inside the MRI machines of 1,000 dogs is something that most people simply aren't ready to hear or accept yet. You might think you know your dog, but the data reveals a hidden depth of comprehension that borders on the impossible. Let me show you the evidence that is currently sending shockwaves through the global scientific community. Here's the first piece of the puzzle. Most owners believe their dogs just recognize a few commands like sit or stay. But the reality is that their linguistic capacity is actually comparable to a human toddler's development. Now, let me show you exactly how deep this rabbit hole goes. We are moving past simple observation and into the realm of direct brain imaging, where the secrets of the canine mind are finally being laid bare. What makes this dangerous today is how we treat them based on outdated assumptions of their ignorance. If you ignore this research, you are essentially living with a genius while treating them like a simple biological machine. Here's what nobody else will tell you about the evolution of the canine brain. It has been specifically rewired over 30,000 years to do one thing better than any other species on this planet: understand you. But before I explain the MRI results, you need to understand the baseline of their vocabulary. Keep this in mind, the number 1022. It represents a threshold that was previously thought to be impossible for any animal. We will return to why that specific number matters in a moment. For now, realize that your dog's brain is constantly scanning your face for micro-expressions that even your closest human friends might actually miss or ignore. But here's where it gets interesting. The science shows that dogs don't just hear your words, they process the emotional intent behind them, using the same brain regions that you use for complex social interactions and empathy. To understand the origin of this discovery, we have to look back at the work of researchers who dared to treat dogs as cognitive peers. This journey began with a single border collie and a very patient scientist. In a quiet lab, a breakthrough occurred that would eventually lead to the massive brain scanning projects we see today. It started with the simple question of whether a dog could learn the names of distinct objects. I've linked the source in the description for the landmark study by Pilley and Reed from 2011. They documented a dog named Chaser who successfully learned the names of over 1,000 unique items without any confusion. That number, 1022, was the verified vocabulary of a single dog. This Chaser's ability to learn through exclusion or fast mapping is a cognitive shortcut that human children use to acquire language. This suggests that the building blocks of language processing are not as uniquely human as we once believed. But to truly see what was happening inside the canine mind, we needed to look at the brain in real time. This led to the Dog Project at Emory University, where researchers trained dogs to voluntarily enter an MRI scanner. By remaining perfectly still without sedation, these dogs allowed scientists to map their neural responses to various stimuli. The most significant finding involved the caudate nucleus, a region of the brain associated with positive expectations and reward. When dogs were presented with the scent of their familiar human, the caudate nucleus showed a much stronger activation than with any other scent. Even more surprising, for many dogs, the reward center reacted more strongly to their owner's voice than to the prospect of food. This provides biological proof that dogs value social connection with humans as a primary reward, similar to how we value our own loved ones. The MRI data also revealed how dogs decode the complexities of human speech patterns. Just like humans, dogs use the left hemisphere of their brain to process the meaning of words they recognize. Simultaneously, they use the right hemisphere to analyze the intonation and emotional pitch of the speaker. A study in the journal Science confirmed that a dog's brain only registers praise as a reward when both the word and the tone are positive. This means you can't fool your dog by saying "bad dog" in a happy voice. They are processing the contradiction. Beyond language, dogs possess a specialized neural pathway for processing human faces. Located in the temporal cortex, this face area is remarkably similar to the fusiform face area found in the human brain. This allows dogs to distinguish between different people and recognize subtle changes in our facial expressions. When you look into your dog's eyes, a unique biological phenomenon occurs: the oxytocin feedback loop. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone because it plays a crucial role in maternal care and romantic attachment. Research has shown that when dogs and humans gaze at each other, oxytocin levels rise significantly in both species. This is the only known instance of a cross-species hormonal bond that mimics the connection between a parent and a child. But their understanding of us goes beyond sight and sound. It extends into the realm of chemistry. Dogs can literally smell our emotions by detecting the chemosignals we release through our sweat. In one study, dogs could distinguish between the scent of a human who was feeling fear versus one who was feeling happiness. When they smelled fear, sweat, the dog's own heart rates increased, and they showed signs of stress. This emotional contagion explains why dogs are so attuned to our moods and often act as emotional mirrors. They even exhibit contagious yawning, a behavior linked to empathy that was previously thought to be limited to primates. If you yawn and your dog follows suit, it's a sign of their deep social and emotional connection to you. Another fascinating aspect of the canine mind is their perception of time and the future. While they live very much in the present, dogs use their sense of smell to track the passage of time. As your scent slowly dissipates in the house after you leave, the dog learns to associate a specific scent concentration with your return. This olfactory clock allows them to anticipate your arrival with uncanny accuracy. Recent studies also suggest that dogs may possess a form of episodic-like memory. This means they can remember specific events from the past, even if those events didn't have an immediate reward or consequence. The do-as-I-do training method proves that dogs can observe a human action and replicate it after a delay. This requires a sophisticated level of mental representation and the ability to recall a sequence of movements. When it comes to rest, the canine brain remains remarkably active, especially during REM sleep. EEG recordings show that dogs experience the same brainwave patterns during sleep as humans do when they dream. Given their neural architecture, it is highly likely that dogs dream about their daily activities and social interactions. They are mentally processing their experiences, reinforcing their learning, and perhaps even practicing their skills. The cognitive abilities of dogs also extend to complex problem-solving and social intelligence. In the unsolvable task experiment, dogs are given a puzzle that is impossible to open. While wolves will persist in trying to solve it alone, dogs will quickly turn to a human and make eye contact. This human-directed gazing is a sophisticated social strategy, showing they view us as partners who can help. This behavior is absent in wolves, even those raised by humans, suggesting it is a product of domestication. Genetically, we have identified the specific markers that differentiate the social behavior of dogs from wolves. Research into the canine genome has found deletions in genes like GTF2I and GTF2IRD1 in humans. These same genetic variations are associated with Williams-Burron syndrome, which causes extreme gregariousness. Essentially, we have bred dogs to be hypersocial and biologically predisposed to seek out human companionship. This genetic foundation allows them to understand human gestures, such as pointing, better than any other animal. Even chimpanzees struggle to understand that a pointed finger is meant to direct their attention to a specific object. Dogs, however, understand the communicative intent behind the gesture from a very young age. They also possess a basic sense of number and can detect when a quantity of treats has been surreptitiously changed. Furthermore, dogs have a rudimentary sense of fairness, known as inequity aversion. In experiments, a dog will stop performing a trick if they see another dog being rewarded for the same trick while they receive nothing. This shows they are aware of social comparisons and have a basic expectation of reciprocal treatment. The complexity of their emotions also includes a form of social jealousy. When an owner shows affection to a realistic animatronic dog, their real dog will often exhibit distressed and attention-seeking behavior. This isn't just about resources. It's about the preservation of the social bond they share with their human. Their vocalizations are also more complex than we once thought, with different barks and growls for different contexts. A play growl has a distinct acoustic structure compared to a guarding growl, and other dogs can easily tell the difference. Even the direction of a tail wag conveys information about the dog's internal state. A wag biased to the right indicates positive emotions, while a wag to the left suggests anxiety or withdrawal. This asymmetry is linked to the activation of the opposite side of the brain, reflecting the dog's emotional processing. The presence of a dog has been scientifically proven to lower human aftermath pressure and reduce cortisol levels. This mutual benefit is why dogs are so effective as therapy and service animals. They can be trained to detect the onset of seizures, changes in aftermath sugar, and even certain types of cancer. Their ability to sense these physiological changes is a testament to their incredible sensory and cognitive integration. To understand a dog, we must try to imagine their Umwelt, their unique subjective world. It is a world built on scent, subtle gestures, and a deep, unwavering focus on the humans they love. The 1022 words of Chaser are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to their potential. Every dog has the capacity for deep understanding, provided they are given the right environment and stimulation. They are not just man's best friend by chance. They are our evolutionary partners. The MRI results confirm what many owners have felt for centuries. The connection is real and profound. Your dog is constantly observing, learning, and empathizing with you in ways that are truly unique in the animal kingdom. By acknowledging their intelligence, we can build more respectful and fulfilling relationships with them. The science of canine cognition is a bridge that allows us to finally see the world through their eyes. As we continue to study their minds, we will undoubtedly find even more reasons to marvel at their complexity. In the end, the most important thing to remember is that your dog doesn't just love you, they truly understand you.